So, sir, college football 26, EA Sports college football 26. Is that what they call it? It is. Oh man, I thought I had it set up here. I don't think I do have it set up here. Here, you filibuster real quick here, sir. Let me college football 26. Have you played it yet?
Yeah, I got it. I've had it for like 3 or 4 days. I made this team on Team Builder when I was like 15 on NCAA 14, and I used that team on Dynasty for like years. So that was one of the first things I did when the game last year came out, is I made them on the new Team Builder, and I've since refreshed their uniforms and their roster and everything, and I have a Dynasty with them now. I've simmed most of the games in year one, mostly because my team sucks. So like I'll play the moment sometimes. Sometimes I'll play the full game, but mostly I'm focused on recruiting. And like the biggest thing in Dynasty this year that I've noticed is like literally like all my starters transferred after the season, and we were pretty good. We won 7 games, and like everyone on my team transferred. Last year, I only had 8 guys transfer. So if you do a Dynasty now, prepare to have the portal just like be nuts. It's insane.
Oh wow, that's crazy. I actually I did give in, and actually I haven't owned a console in like a decade, and I was looking at it and I was like, I can't go a second college football season without having this video game. So I finally caved this weekend and had to go out and cop that. But it's funny you say that, because I actually had a team like that, and I probably made them up at like the exact same time. I was like 15 or 16. And it was Naples. It was in Naples, Florida. Nichols State, or I think they're just Nichols now, that Georgia played. That in through the sword through it. I was like, this is kind of a cool logo. I don't know who this team is. So I made that their logo. And then Naples, they were a powerhouse. I made them like on multiple games. But yeah, and then Georgia played them years later. My friends are like, is Georgia playing Naples right now? Like, what's happening?
Naples, yeah. Yeah, mine's Middle Georgia, and they play in Milledgeville. And I didn't realize.
I know about it, Middle Georgia. They got that logo, that MG logo.
Well, at the time, I didn't realize that there was already a school named that. And I also didn't know there was already a college in Milledgeville. So I made them completely fictionally. Like their mascot is the Beavers. And I used some beaver logo I found on the internet. And then I found out later that there was already a school in Milledgeville, and there's already a college named that in another town. And now my brothers go to Georgia College, which is in Milledgeville. So it's very funny how it all backfired on me. But I still keep all the details because I think it's funny. But
oh yeah, my dad went. Middle Georgia was a junior college. Is it still a junior college?
I think it's like a 2 years.
My dad went to that junior college back in the day, like in the damn 70s.
Nice.
But yeah, that's funny. Middle Georgia, that's your squad. But one thing I saw, and I had to use this graphic that I made, sir. Toughest places to play on the new video game. Georgia coming in at Sanford State coming in at 4, which I think is definitely up from when the game was originally out before the PS5 era. We were probably sitting around 10 or 12 on whatever 2010, whenever the last time that game came out. But what were your thoughts? Any thoughts about this toughest places to play list?
Neyland is way too low. It's insane how Neyland is at 12. They should be in the top 5.
Okay.
And Georgia, I would probably have at 3, but it's just nice to be above Alabama. But Neyland at 12 is ridiculous. I can't believe it. I don't even, and I'm saying that as a Georgia fan that doesn't even like Tennessee, but like Neyland at 12 is insane, and that's ridiculous. Like freaking Oregon and Oklahoma being above that.
Oklahoma's the random one. I've never heard Oklahoma like mentioned.
Kyle Field hasn't been lit since Johnny Manziel played there.
See, I disagree with you there. I think Kyle Field, I would put with Neyland Stadium. I think 11 and 12 both could go up. But see, this is the thing. This is my ultimate take when it comes to this conversation because Josh Pate, I think after this came out, he did put like his list together, and I think he may have had Tennessee 1, honestly, on his list. Yeah. No one is talking about the toughest places to play. We're talking about the loudest places. I feel like that's what the fans are always, the arguments everyone always gets into is the loudest. So it's like they should just change the criteria in general and just call it the loudest places to play because, yeah, playing Georgia in a 10,000 seat stadium is tougher than playing Tennessee in a 100,000 seat stadium, as far as I'm concerned. Like, because Georgia is a tougher team to beat year in and year out, you know? So it's like, there's this, oh, how can we not be one of the toughest? But we've won however many games in a row. Like we have this home record, and it's like, it always becomes a conversation. It's like, oh, well, your team is good, but it's not that tough it's not like a loud stadium because Ohio State, I think Josh Pate didn't have in his top 10. I think Ohio State's kind of been criticized as kind of the wine and cheese crowd at times.
Yeah, you know? do people talk about Ohio State as having like an insane home field advantage? Like, I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that. Maybe I'm just hating on Ohio State, but I've never heard them be as like mentioned as like one of the 3 craziest environments in college football or anything. But maybe
same. But if you look at their home record of the last decade, I'm sure it's amazing, you know, because Ohio State has an amazing record.
They're insane.
So I feel like in general, we should just change this conversation to like the loudest places to play. Like also Auburn at 17 feels insanely low. And like 7, Florida at 7 is like,
that's too high.
When the Swamp is, maybe you're too young and you don't remember the glory years of Florida, but it feels like when Florida is good, when that stadium is loud, it is the loudest stadium in college football. Like it's up there, but it's just been so long since Florida was like relevant, and I'm sure they've lost a bunch of games at home that you're like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it throws off the whole conversation.
Yeah, like, I mean, you can definitely start getting into like what you view as the toughest place to play, like what that means. I have no problem with it being called that because I think toughest places to play just means like the environment and like, you know, how crazy it gets. And I guess, you know, how good the team is definitely an extension of that. But like,
yeah,
I think like pound for pound, like I guess the way to look at it is like rank them on like how crazy it is when every team is good. I would say Neyland Stadium when Tennessee.
How crazy is their crazy?
Like, yeah, like Neyland Stadium when Tennessee is really good. There's no way that's not like a top 3 hardest environment in college football. I don't believe that.
Yeah, I mean, just 100 and something thousand like has to put it up there. But also Williams-Brice Stadium, like it seems like it gets loud and crazy. So I hate when these conversations turn into like, especially with Tennessee fans, because this feels like all they have. That it's like our stadium is so much louder. Cool.
That's why I really need to stick up for them.
Yeah, it's like cool. Georgia's won by like 4 touchdowns like the last 5 times they've gone there or something. Like
it's tough to play there as long as like Jarrett Garantano is not the quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. Famous last words. Let's knock on wood there. Georgia going to Knoxville in about 46? So probably about 60 days.
Joey Aguilar might just be crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Who knows what could happen? We've seen Zach Calzada channel something in Bama, so I don't know. But yeah, I thought this list was interesting. The home field advantage is always cool in the video game. Get the crowd shaking and all that. But yeah, it's just funny what all this conversation always turns into with Tennessee fans. And it's just like Sanford Stadium is loud. Is it the 4th loudest environment in college football? I don't know. Probably not. Like consistently, like the fact that Kirby had to call him out versus Auburn like just a year ago is probably not a great sign. But when it's loud, it feels like it's one of the loudest environments in college football. Like we all saw that Arkansas game at noon, that Tennessee game in 2022, or even the Notre Dame game in 2019. So there's been some rowdy environments in Athens. It feels like there just hasn't been that many, honestly, like marquee matchups in Athens in the last like 5-10 years for whatever reason. Like it feels like a lot of Georgia's biggest games, either it's Florida in a neutral site, some of these Oregon Clemson games in a neutral site. or they seem to be on the road in Tuscaloosa in Austin a year ago. So
that'll change
maybe
this
that's
year, though.
What's that?
That'll change this year, though.
Yeah, absolutely. The home schedule this year, I don't know how I'm going to afford a ticket, but I got to be in the crowd for some of those big time matchups this year.
Yeah, no, me too. I think this is just something that like every fan base is just going to go to bat about, because it probably more than anything in college football that you can rank is like a reflection on the fans themselves. Like, how good is your stadium? That's like how good are your fans, basically. So
I feel like that is
every fan base is going to have strong feelings about where they are on this list, because it's more than anything calling them out, if they're not high enough.
For sure. And fans take it personally. But a lot of this is like it's architecture and physics, it's just like the sound stays in better at some places. It's not an attack on you personally, but yeah, Jordan Hare at 17 seems real low. Obviously I haven't been to a lot of these places, so I can't speak outside of the SEC, but bucket list item. Bucket list would be at least see a game in all of these stadiums, but I don't know. That might be a lot. And the last thing for the diehard gamers out there, we got the top 10 ranked Georgia players on here on the video game. Any thoughts here that stand out to you? We got Christian Miller at 92, CJ Allen and KJ Bolden as 91s. What stands out to you on this on these overall ratings?
I think CJ Allen should be rated higher. I don't know why Oscar Delp is a 90. That's probably the highest one to me. That doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think he was at 90 on the game last year too.
Nate Frazier's at 88 is a bit generous, but like I get it. And then Dylan Bell at I would have Noah Thomas higher rated than Dylan Bell.
I agree with that. Yeah.
I would have I don't know.
Which I'd have to look.
Georgia's got a lot of unproven players, so I get why they're probably not a bunch of there's no one that you can look at on Georgia and be like, yeah, that's a 95 overall in the video, because there's just nobody that's established like that on the team.
Do you remember what Beck was on the game a year ago? Like a 94 or something like that?
I doubt. He probably won that. He's probably low. He's probably a 91 or something like that.
Because he was probably the highest ranked quarterback on the game, right?
He might have been
going into last year.
Yeah, there was Carson Beck had a lot of hype going into last year.
Yeah. But yeah, this is interesting. Zachariah Branch at 88. Ernest Green. I'm hoping Ernest Green plays like an 89.
Yeah, that'd be awesome
this year.
If Oscar Delp plays like a 90, that'd be amazing. That would change the offense.
Yeah, for sure. But I wouldn't be surprised, or I guess shouldn't say I'd be surprised. It's been my prediction all offseason that Noah Thomas is going to be our guy who actually leads us in receiving this year. So I would probably have him ranked. I mean, Zachariah Branch is a lot of projection. I feel like with Zachariah Branch and just being a 5-star and all that. I hope he's that good, but I feel like Noah Thomas feels like a more proven commodity.
Yeah, I mean, Noah Thomas just led A&M in receiving in like every category. Dylan Bell hasn't really been good, so I don't know why he's higher than Noah Thomas.
Dylan Bell catching some shade over here. Not a Dylan Bell guy, huh?
I don't know. He's been around for a while, and he's definitely anytime you're a starter for multiple years, you're good. You're doing something right. But think of how many bad Dylan Bell plays there have been, man.
Yeah, I feel like he was great as the fourth option.
Yeah, no, and he
2023, and maybe he can be back to being like the third or fourth option this year, depending on what Colby Young can do. But yeah, I feel like I really like him as where he is. So I like Dylan Bell, and I like the kind of player he is and how versatile he is. But it's just he can't be your number one receiver.
Yeah,
so
that's
not being our number one guy this year, maybe he looks a lot better. But and then I feel like you said, Georgia's roster is pretty unproven. I'm not looking at the roster right in front of me, but there's probably another 20 players that are 80 to 85 on this roster or something, because Georgia's going to be loaded with a bunch of good players. We don't know how good as of yet. And I wouldn't be surprised. Sure. I will say they do like roster edits and stuff, right? When at the
yeah,
as
they
season
do
goes.
roster updates every week, so this will all be obsolete by the end of September anyway.
Yeah, I bet you. I mean, do they do it like after the season and like update how good players were and things like that? Do they do it like?
Yeah, they. I mean, when I used to play Madden, they would just do it every single week,
Like
and
week
then
to week?
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's week to week with this game too. I think that's what it was last year.
I could see KJ Bolden being the highest rated
Yeah,
player by the season's end.
we'll see. We'll see how much Chris Cole goes up. I think Chris Cole might find his way into the 90s before the season's over.
I hope you're right, man. Chris Cole is the guy I'm like most excited about watching on this defense next year. But yeah, get out and play the game. It's a good time for sure.
Not sponsored by EA.
We we are not sponsored by EA, but we can be, you know. Just reach out, EA. I think it's sponsorships at vocfb.com.
For you.
We will do some ad reads for EA